Hey guys, Shadow Reviewer here. Today, I'll be ranking all of the Sonic 06 bosses from worst to best. Without any further ado, let's get on with it. These are the Sonic 06 bosses ranked from worst to best. And the worst of them all is Sonic and Shadow vs. Iblis. Yes, I ranked both number 16 and number 15 together. Wanna know why? Because it's the exact same thing! It's the exact same level! There's no difference in between both Shadow and Sonic. It's the exact same thing. All you do is dodge his attacks, jump up to hit the pop-ups. When Iblis goes for them, you hit him in the face. You do that 3 separate times, and it's so slow and boring. And honestly, both versions suck. I can't choose which one is worse. They both suck equally. This boss is boring. It's horribly done, and it's just so fucking slow. Fuck this boss. Honestly, it just sucks entirely. Number 14, Silver vs. Egg Genesis. Yeah, this one is pretty bad. It's pretty much Sonic's version, but done much worse. Honestly, you could cut this boss out of it and it wouldn't affect the story at all. Honestly, Silver could have gotten a different boss entirely. All you do is just psychokinesis the missiles and throw back at him. That's it. And you feel nothing. You feel empty. You feel empty playing this boss. It's just a real disappointment. Number 13, Silver vs. Iblis, Part 1. Honestly, this feels very like the Egg Genesis. It feels very disappointing. It's just all you do is just throw stuff at him and dodge his big building attack. That's pretty much it. It's slow and clunky. But the rematch is a lot better. We'll see that one in a long while. But this feels fucking empty. Honestly, there's no reason to replay this one again. Number 12, Shadow the Hedgehog vs. Silver the Hedgehog. Honestly, out of the character bosses, this is the worst one. And it feels very easy to play. I mean, I generally like that Shadow is the only one to block Silver's attacks, but that's all pretty much you do. You just jump up, hit it, kick him, that's pretty much it. Honestly, it just feels off to me. Now, it is a story-driven boss, but the execution could have been so much better. Number 11, Sonic the Hedgehog vs. Silver the Hedgehog. It is slightly better, but not by much. All you do is just jump, homing attack, and avoid his psychokinesis. But it is well known for its memes, and it's pretty quick. That's pretty much all you can do. But it's just there. Number 10, Shadow vs. Egg Cerberus. Yeah, this one is not great. I mean, it's pretty much Sonic's version of this fight, but done a lot worse. It's pretty much a harder version. You just pretty much do the same thing, but he's gonna be a little harder to control, but it honestly feels a bit off. It's just, I don't know, it just feels pretty generic. That's pretty it. There's not much to say about this one. Number 9, Silver the Hedgehog vs. Shadow the Hedgehog. Now this is a much Now this is a much better version of that fight. For one, there is a little bit of thinking as, oh no, you can't throw Shadow, he'll just block it with Chaos Sphere. It gets you to thinking when you have to throw stuff at him. Yeah, it's pretty much Sonic's version, but it's okay at least. There's pretty much not much I can say. It's pretty good. That's all. Number 8. Silver the Hedgehog versus Sonic the Hedgehog. Honestly, this is about the best we're gonna get, and it's fine. I mean, you pretty much just throw stuff at Sonic, but I do like there is a bit of tension where Sonic can easily just hit you with his homing attack. You gotta think quickly on your feet, and it's not bad. It's good enough. That's pretty much all I can say. Number 7. Shadow vs. Mephiles Part 2. Yeah, we're at the middle of the list where we go from good to great. Honestly, this is a great boss, but with one minor flaw. The ending. Honestly, when he goes around in that circle thing, you have to homing attack to reach him. It's glitchily executed, and it just pisses me off every time I get to that part. I'm like, oh god. But the rest of it is amazing. I mean, the music, the atmosphere, the setting. Oh, wow, it sent shivers down my spine. Honestly, it's just an amazing. It's not a good executed boss, but the setting makes it worth it. This is honestly the greatest we're gonna get, and there are 6 more to go through that are just great bosses overall. Thank you, Mephiles. This is the best one you could end on. 100 to end on. Number 6. Sonic vs. Egg Wyvern. For the final boss in Sonic's story, it's a pretty great one. I love the music amps it up fantastically, and I do love the way that the second half is executed. It's fun, it gets a great sense of tension, and the ending is beautifully executed. It's the first half that annoys me. I mean, trying to control that damn thing when you jump and hang on to it, it's a little off to me. It's fun to execute when you're doing it correctly, but not correctly, but right? It feels a bit off, and it just, I don't know, it just tones it down a little bit for me. But for the ending of Sonic's story, this is the great one to end on, and oh yeah, there's also Eggman's hilarious death. What the hell is that? It's just funny. But flawless. Number 5. Sonic vs. Egg Cerberus. Honestly, the best out of the Egg Cerberus, and it's fun enough. But the reason why it's ranked this high is the setting. I mean, for one, it just connects well. I mean, it's a Cerberus, hence, I mean, just look at it. It's a canine, feline. Leave me down in the comments if I don't know what it is. So sorry. But I genuinely like how this episode is paced. I like boss is paced. It's pretty much doing what Shadow's version did, but a lot easier and fun. It's just a great boss overall. I mean, there's enough said. Number 4. Sonic vs. Egg Genesis. Honestly, a pretty great boss. I mean, it's fun to execute when you're getting that S rank. All you do is pretty much dodge attacks, but there are 2 ways to putting damage on the boss. You can either climb up onto and jumping and hitting the bosses and hitting the middle, which is easy said than done. I pretty much gave up doing that shit. But the other way is, I think my favorite is just bouncing up and down. You get the bounce ability at this time anyway. And when you're close enough, just homing an attack multiple times, and you pretty much get the same result. Honestly, I think you should go with that version. Honestly, this is just a great boss, and and the music pretty much just slaps. It's just fun. It's just great. Number 3, Sonic, Shadow, and Silver vs. Solaris. Yeah, I haven't mentioned this boss in any of my videos. I've been saving it up, and it's a fucking excellent boss. It's a great final boss throughout the whole game. Honestly, I love the way it's set up for all three of the Hedgehogs to use their abilities. Silver with his Psychokinesis, Shadow with his Chaos Burst, and Sonic with his speeding home attack. I love it. It's just great. Although dodging its lasers in the second half is a bit meh sometimes, but the music pretty much sums it all up in the second phase. His World, honestly, is a pretty underrated song in the Sonic series. Honestly, and it pretty much sums up what I love about this boss. The setup is great, the music is great, the fight is excellent to me. And honestly, it's just a fucking great boss. It's just absolutely excellent. Thanks very much for giving us a great boss to end the game. Number 2, Shadow vs. Mephiles the Dark Part 1. Now here's the best Mephiles fight. Honestly, the setting makes it worth it. It's just great. Not just great, excellent. The way it's all set up, kicking Mephiles' ass one-on-one. Even a mega section is fantastic. But there is a nice creepy little detail that sent shivers down my spine. When you start the boss, you can actually see Mephiles merging into the actual shadow. That thing is creepy. Get the hell away from me. But honestly, this is honestly the best that Mephiles the Dark is ever going to get in this game. I mean, his other fight was good, but this one is excellent. It's just fucking perfect. However, there is one other boss that is honestly my favorite out of the entire game. Have you been keeping up? Do you know what it is? Well, and the number 1 best Sonic 06 boss in the whole game goes to Silver vs. Iblis Part 2. Honestly, this boss is genuinely perfect. I mean, for one, the way it's in Silver's story has gotta be beautifully done. I mean, it's a much better version of the first fight at the start of the game. The way it shoots out the fireballs is perfect. The way it shoots its energy attacks, even when it tries to smash the ground you're on, it's perfectly set up. But the best part is that freaking fireball. Holy shit, that fireball. The way it tries to throw it at you, and it is a great finisher to throw it back at him with all your psychokinesis you have. It's just a fucking awesome boss. Which makes the ending of the story feel very tragic. If you want to know more what I'm talking about, go watch the Silver Boss's ranking. Honestly, this has got to be not just Silver's best boss, but my favorite boss in the entire game. And it is the number 1 best boss for me. So that's my ranking of the bosses. All of them. In a couple of hours, I'll be ranking the levels on their own overall. I'll explain in a bit. Until then, I'm the Shadow Reviewer, signing off.